there's something here. It's something about routine. Oh boy, I waver back and forth with this. You've heard these debates throughout this podcast where sometimes the routines are so good for me, but then they can become robotic, which I don't like. So I have to change it so I can remain present and make sure that's even still the goal. It's like I find what's beneficial for me, and then I like to simplify it and then put it in a routine and move forward. But again, I can become too robotic, and it's either no longer necessary, that routine, or no longer benefiting, or I'm not even staying present to recognize it, or whatever the case. Okay, and then, like, I just started a new routine for my days, but I've already started to not commit to it in that, like, I haven't gotten up and done the routine a few of the days, but I also don't punish myself for it, and I'm also grateful for it. Like, I'm also grateful for the fact that I'm not following it, and that I'm like, how nice. Like, who do I have to answer for? What am I worried about? Like, it's okay. I can go with the flow of my day, however the fuck it feels good to me. I don't have to. But yet we have this debate often, right? Because when I fall, quote, offline too long, or float or flow too long or too much, it's that fine line for me. It's that fine line where I can go with the flow of the universe and everything's going seemingly beautifully, and it is. But it's such a backwards way of thinking or saying, but it's true for me, where it's like I can flow with the universe in such symphony and bliss and peace and ease and happiness and joy, but lose sight of it's almost like losing sight of me and my reality and my goals, because it's just such a delicious float. But it is in the present moment. It's such a weird way to say it. I'm not sure how to. It's like, I almost leave myself completely. But I love it. I guess it's the idea of like dropping the ego. It's like I don't even identify at all. And so I just go with that flow, and it's so bliss. Yet when the ego reemerges or comes, it's like jolts me back into reality. It's almost like, fuck. Right, I wanted to achieve these goals, right? And it's like, can you hear that though? It's almost like, well, the goal is usually to do what I'm suggesting, to be so present and enjoy all those moments and drop all my inhibitions, all my ego, and it feels amazing. What's the problem? And I guess it's the problem of identifying with this 3D world and being like, oh, right, I do love me as a me. That's an identity. That me is an identity. And so it's, oh, right, and so I want to focus on this and this and this. Do you see what I'm saying? Does anybody hear this? Okay, so there's that. But there was something else they were telling me with this. Of course, I got just sidetracked here. What was it? It was... Shit. I wish I didn't just get sidetracked there. Because it was something good I was on the edge of. Or at least it felt that way. It was this knowing that... Right, it was this knowing that it's when I'm so free that does feel blissful and amazing. But then it's something about this. Like at the end of my Megan's life, I was there. I was teetering between the two. Like there would be days where I had zero responsibilities and it felt so nice to just float. But Megan was the responsibility. My daughter was with her grandparents. I had like a few free days, and it was nice to just go with that flow of the universe and be fully present, but also almost invisible in that I was able to just observe everything and be present, but not participate. That's what I mean by invisible. It was almost as if I truly didn't exist and I really was just floating everywhere. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because I still had my Megan, but I recall days at the end where I was like, I still question. I'm like, was I floating so much then that I don't know if it's guilt I'm giving myself. Like, did I not, like, I remember her not eating the last week, and I had beat myself up for a long time, but then I remembered I did feed her. But there were a few days that I'm like, I mean, she could have gone a few days, but would she have been fine? Yes. Would that have killed her? No. But then I think, well, did I even put water down then? Like, it was all these things where our mind does play tricks on us. But the point of that story, though, is more not to, you can hear my ego slipping in here, wanting to justify, but more of that point and more of what I think they were showing me is like, I do have that challenge where I'm sure friends over the years could attest to that, where it's either I'm all in or I'm not. Like, you're either in front of me or you're not. Like, there's only been one person I've been able to tolerate just having a long distance phone relationship with. And even that ended up being too much because I could feel it was starting to hold me back, where you're either in my life or you're not. But then on top of that, I do need alone time, but that alone time isn't a set time. And so I'm saying both things here, and I'm not sure how to say what they're showing me. It's like, I need a focus, right? It's like I need that outside of me to be responsible for and give attention to keep me, it's like somewhat on track. And yet I can't have full responsibility for it. Like, it needs to be responsible for itself as well because of it's like absence at times. Does that make sense? Where it's like, that's probably why it was so challenging for me with my daughter, because she was an only child and she was very attached to me, and it forced me to have to remain present like 24/7. It was extremely challenging for me. I'm sure it is for every parent. I'm just saying for my difficulties, it was like, whew. And of course the most growth, right? Like, she taught me more than anybody else in the world's ever taught me. But it's like knowing that about ourselves. Like, I know about myself these little tweaks, and you have to be careful, right? Because sometimes we can use them as excuses or crutches, of which I don't want to do, right? It's more like bringing awareness to it to then make whatever necessary changes are needed, but also still honoring me. And that's where I think there's that fine line. But it's also being really brutally honest with me. Right? Like, I liked that float. I like that feeling. I like going with the flow of the universe. I like not having some of those responsibilities, because it allows me to truly open up to the limitlessness. And that is blissful. But I also very much like being in the 3D and engaging with others and having responsibility and having focus, so that it requires me to still participate. And because there's such joy in participating. And they were showing it something like, maybe I would be better with a cat, right? Like this kind of thing, right? Like, and I've wanted to get a cat so many times, but I also stopped myself because of the hair. Like, I had Tibetan Terriers. They don't shed. There's still a tremendous amount of work, but the hair thing, really, I mean, honestly, it's enough to keep up with vacuuming up my own hair, let alone, even when I've had my neighbor's dog come over, I have to vacuum. Usually during the short amount of time he's here and after he leaves, because it's just the reality of having, I guess, any animal, including another human. We all shed. I'm getting off topic again. I think they're showing me these things, just these little quirks about me that I know. And it's like, it's that dance. It's like, I don't want to wrangle them to the ground. It's like, I want to accept these things about myself and love these things about myself, but also honor myself. Like, honor myself in that I don't want them to run me. I want to be in charge of them. And at the same time, I recognize I can't always control certain things or certain aspects, and that's okay too. right? But again, it's also that fine line of not using it as an excuse or a crutch, right? Because I think a lot of, I don't know that people do that anymore. I don't know, because I'm not around people really. But when I was more based in the community and more engaging, I felt like everybody you knew was claiming to have ADD, but we started to use it as like a funny saying, right? Like a funny thing, but then also as a crutch and excuse, where the truth is like the way people utilize that definition, it could then probably be applied to 90% of the world, because everybody has short attention span when they're inundated 24/7 with new shiny, new shiny, new shiny. Everybody's trying to get your attention to buy their bullshit, their theory, their stuff, their books, their journals, their cards, their shit, their junk, their makeup, their whatever the fuck it is they're trying to sell you, their philosophy, their story, their belief, their they're just trying to get your attention and your money, your attention and your money and your belief and your following, your praise, your idolization, your influence, your blah, blah, blah. They're take, 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 take. And we're giving, because it's like it's like a vacuum. And so you have to shut it off, cut it down. All these things. I'm getting sidetracked again. Okay, that was the point, right? Like, and so many people can claim that they have ADD or ADHD, like right? Like, do you remember that? Again, I say these things, but it's like in my world. In other words, we always think what's happening in our world, when we see it, we think it's happening everywhere. And it was some wave. It could have been some wave in our little world, in our little community, our little city, our little life, our little, do you see what I'm saying? Which now is probably going to be the way it'll be forevermore, because the way computers now are and have been for the past 30, 40 years, being programmed and growing and running and learning what we do and don't like, and that was that, all those uproars. But the truth is, it hasn't stopped. It still continues, and that's the new reality. So you're living in the reality you create more and more and more and more by the choice of your focus. So it is no different than the universe, which is your mirror, but now it's going to be even more challenging. Nature makes it natural and more easy for you to learn at the pace that is beneficial to you. You can speed it up or slow it down by your ability to stay present and recognize, and your ability to tell truth, and your ability to then stop the cycle by seeing the pattern and breaking through the illusion. But now with computers now attempting to mimic that same reality, then everybody's going to be living in such a curated reality, you're not going to know up from down, left from right. You're going to get the impression that it is happening all over the place. Just like I've been sharing, like I just said, like, didn't everybody used to say? Well, did I think that? Or was the computer curated in a way that it was only serving me up videos, feeds, quote, famous, who knows, they can be curated too, TVs, channels, reports, that all were regurgitating that as well. And then the more I'm saying it, then the people around me are saying it. And did they say it or did I say it? And so it's that idea of you can drive oneself batty. And so it's like the computers now will amplify that nutso paranoia crazyville, the more we're unable to control our own mind and our own focus, think on our own and choose for ourselves. So it's going to be like even more challenging. So it's like if you haven't mastered your mind and your focus now, just wait. Not that you can't still be asleep, so you can still sleep through your dream and illusion, yet you might be living in a nightmare versus a dream if you're not choosing. Right? So it's like you're asleep and you hate everything that's occurring, but you're not aware that it's occurring because of what you're putting out and what you're focusing on and what you continue. So you haven't broken whatever billions of cycles. And so you're just going to keep getting it and keep living in that nightmare forevermore. But even more so than if it was a natural occurrence with the universe. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.